Today we have a request from Aubrey Mathis Chronicles to cover Iran, and the narratives that are going around that the reason that the US is so interested in Iran is because of the location of the 11th Stargate underground there. So let's take a look. Many are saying that Iran is not just a troubling nation, but part of a Stargate corridor, or energy network beneath the surface of Earth. It's said that ancient portal design, magnetic nodes, and underground vaults in Iran are really much more than nuclear facilities or oil infrastructure. They're supposedly repositories or control centers for advanced physics technology or portals. The first thing that comes to mind is, why would the United States blow up an energy corridor unless it is being used by the Dark Ones? We've been assured by the Federation that the Dark ETs were eliminated from the planet in 2021, so they aren't using the portal. The second question that comes to mind is, did we really blow up anything over there? With controlled media and technological abilities like Bluebeam, we must consider the possibility of a false flag. So let's continue. Many believe that the public stories about nuclear capability or surface-level geopolitics are cover scripts that are meant to distract from subterranean technologies with hidden purposes such as field physics and portal experiments. This I can absolutely believe because I've said for some time that we've also been assured that there are no more active nuclear weapons on the planet. At one point there was concerns about a couple of suitcase bombs, but that died down, and we've again been told that the weapons have been destroyed for some time. Also, it's widely documented that there's massive underground tunnel systems across the world. We also know that the Army had a secret investigation into enhanced states of consciousness and reality, and it was called Stargate. Next. The 11th Stargate is part of a broader network of stargates that are believed to connect Earth to other dimensions and realms. These stargates are guarded by the override pillar gates, also known as Rorschach pillars, which are believed to stabilize planetary energy fields and prevent negative influences from affecting the Earth. They connect to stable wormholes. In Iran, the 11th Stargate is specifically referred to as the 11th Override Pillar Gate. This notion is strongly supported by Sumerian texts like Inanna's Descent, where the 7 gates are seen as frequency thresholds or consciousness locks into other dimensions, which serve as interdimensional checkpoints. This is the strongest written report of portal mechanics in Sumerian literature. Then there's the myth of Ereshkigal and Nergal, where the underworld is a separate realm with its own rules and rulers, where entry requires authorization. It establishes that travel between realms is intentional, controlled, and repeatable. Now here's the inconsistency that I found in the story. The big buzz is saying that the 11th Stargate is in Iran, which is incorrect. The 10th Stargate is in Iran, and the 11th Stargate is in Pewsey Vale, which is outside London. I absolutely believe that there's much more going on in both Iran and Greenland, and the narratives about security, nuclear weapons, and oil are all just distractions. There are 12 primary gates woven into Earth's living grid, and each is a major node in the planetary chakra architecture. These are believed to be portals for spiritual energy and transformation. These are 12 spiritual or energy structures placed by the guardian host to stabilize Earth's sacred geometrically organized shields, grids, and timelines during an ascension intervention. Each gate corresponds to a specific dimensional layer, or harmonic layer, of divine blueprints, feeding back to the 13th pillar, also known as the Mother Arc. First, I want to say that these 12 stargates each have their own network of stargates. The study of all of these lesser stargates is quite time-consuming, so for our purposes, we will focus only on the main nodes. Dimension 1 is located off the coast of Sierra Leone, Africa. Dimension 2 can be found west of Conakry, Guinea, in West Africa. Dimension 3 is east of Amapa, in northeast Brazil. Dimension 4 lies along the Algerian border, southwest of Ghat. Dimension 5 is in the mid-Atlantic Ocean near Bermuda. Dimension 6 is Machu Picchu, Peru. Dimension 7 is the Bay of Biscay, Spain. Dimension 8 is the Aral Sea, Kazakhstan. Dimension 9 is Sardinia, Italy. Dimension 10 is Kashmir, Tibet. Dimension 11 is in East Iran. And finally, Dimension 12 is Xi'an, China. With all of these stargates that were placed across the world, we had to question, what makes this one in Iran so special? Well, it seems that not all stargates are equal, which makes perfect sense. Most are described as regional, harmonic, or relay nodes, while Iran is framed as a command-level node, a gate that allegedly controls access, synchronization, or activation authority over the rest. So let's look deeper into this master gate or authority node. This means that the Stargate, either the 10th or the 11th, which we will try to clarify, is a centralized authorization gate, a lock and unlock command interface rather than a simple transit portal. Other Stargates can exist and even function in their space, but full system activation, coordination, or off-world access allegedly requires the Iran gate. It's often compared to a root server, cryptographic key, or a firmware access point. Vertical axis versus horizontal gates. It is said that the Iran gate is described as vertical, not horizontal. That means that while most gates move across space, like Earth to Earth or Earth to near space, Iran allegedly connects across densities and dimensions. This is why it's sometimes labeled 11D instead of 10D. They are saying that Iran's 10th Stargate is interdimensional rather than interstellar. The difference is that interdimensional is traveling between dimensions of space or time. There's this recurring internal claim that, historically, Iran or the surrounding region was entrusted as a custodial zone, either by ancient non-human civilizations or by pre-cataclysmic humans. This kinda suggests that the gate was intentionally placed in a spot where conquest would be really difficult. Its guardianship, they say, was more cultural than military. Control wasn't about weapons, but rather tied to lineage, ritual authority, or even frequency compatibility. One thing that should be understood is that you can, in fact, occupy territory without actually controlling the gate. A major reason other gates are considered less urgent is because the Iran gate supposedly operates on a frequency band that's just not compatible with modern militaries. It can't be forced open and only responds to certain coherent states or specific biological markers. Other gates, on the other hand, can be stabilized mechanically and are already kind of degraded or even dormant. Some are what people call echo gates, which don't really allow for strategic level access. That's why the Iran gate is said to be the last one that still actually works as it was designed. I mean, I don't know if I completely buy this, since extraterrestrials have apparently been integrated on Earth for quite some time, and knowing how important stargates are, it seems unlikely they'd just let them degrade. But I also found that this particular Stargate was controlled by the Alpha Draconians and the Orion Greys, which is consistent with the ones we know captured us and have been eradicated now for nearly 5 years, so it's possible that we are just now gaining access. The truth, guys, is that anything is possible, but this is just one more confirmation that consciousness, other worlds, and freaky stuff is really going on, and the Earth Alliance is on it. The other main stargates are not as critical as the Iran gate because they're described as local transit points, secondary nodes, decoys, collapsed remnants, or even slaves to the master gate. The claim isn't that they're irrelevant, but that they just can't be fully utilized independently or offer any real strategic leverage without the Iran Gate. Control of the other Stargates doesn't grant system-wide authority. You really don't need to take the others if you already hold the key node. So why would this node be located in Iran rather than anywhere else in the Middle East? Iran is geologically stable, with deep crystalline structures. That actually does make sense with what we know about crystals. The civilization there has been historically continuous and, honestly, less penetrated by prior global resets. I've always believed that this is why the area has been so villainized. They just don't play nice with the deep state. Even today, Iran isn't completely integrated into the world banking matrix. There's several reasons the gate is tied to this area, including the fact that Zoroastrian cosmology actually predates Christ by about 1200 years. It describes reality as layered and dual aspect, not multiple universes, but multiple planes of existence. Just like Taoism, it believes that there's a seen and an unseen world that are coexistent, not distant. The spiritual world interpenetrates the physical one. The bottom line is that reality is stacked, not spread out. Whether described as an Iranian Stargate, a cosmological gateway, or a symbolic interface between worlds, these ancient Persian sites point to a forgotten understanding of space, consciousness, and resonance. Long before modern physics, they encoded the idea that reality is layered, and that access between layers requires alignment, not force. We're honestly to the point that the question isn't whether Stargate gateways exist, but whether humanity has remembered how to interact with them responsibly. As more suppressed history resurfaces, we may find that the past wasn't primitive at all. It was precise, intentional, and far more advanced than we've been told.